Thank you, everyone. My name is Marc-André Tremblay. I am founder of Young Global Citizens. And we have the beautiful Geneviève Bon here with us today and the wonderful Shohreh Aghdashloo, who has graciously joined us, accepted to interview with the children of Young Global Citizens. I just want to say today's interview could not be possible without our sponsor, Croge BSC. The team that is behind this project of cryptocurrency is very genuine. And since we are a volunteer movement with teacher salaries, every little help helps along the way just to keep going with this wonderful project for the kids. We started Young Global Citizens to assist Indigenous people of Canada access clean water. And now we are also helping schools in Kyiv, Kenya, and Malawi with hundreds of girls there sending us their pictures and messages. Girls, we are aware of you. Don't lose hope. And we know that the people watching this interview today, many of them are huge science fiction fans, and they are very passionate about the series, The Expanse. So thank you to our sponsor today. Thank you, Shohreh, for being here. And on Friday, we will meet NFL's Super Bowl champion 2020, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. And we are working on getting some exciting soccer players in Europe. But for today, we are going back to Geneviève Bon. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Young Global Citizens. We are very happy today to speak with Shohreh Aghdashloo. She was born in Tehran, Iran. As an actress, she played various roles and achieved nationwide stardom in her homeland, starring in some prominent pictures such as The Report and Desiderium. She really established herself as one of Iran's leading ladies. During the 1978 Islamic Revolution, Shohreh left Iran for England to complete her education. Her interest in politics and her concern for social injustice led her to receive a bachelor's degree in international relations. She moved to Hollywood in 1987 and worked relentlessly since then. She stole the limelight in the movie House of Fog alongside Ben Kingsley and Jennifer Connelly. She played in The Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Lake House, alongside starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. She starred in the BBC HBO miniseries House of Saddam, in which she portrays Saddam Hussein's wife, Saida, and for which she won the 2009 Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Miniseries or Movie. We could also admire her work in the fantasy series Grimm, in the Oscar-nominated sci-fi film Star Trek Beyond with Chris Pine, and the historical drama The Promise with Kristen Bell and Oscar Isaac, amongst others. A role that won many hearts is her work as a UN Secretary General in The Expanse, in which she displays intensity, courage, grace, and acts as an incredible glass ceiling breaker for all young women to emulate. We are blessed and very happy to speak today with Shohreh Aghdashloo. Hello, Shohreh.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for that introduction. I don't think anybody can top that. Thank you very much. I'm so happy. Thanks for having me. I am loving the picture, this tableau, a melange of beautiful young faces who are going to change the world for a better place. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And yes, these young people want to change the world, definitely. Are you ready for their questions?
By all means, I am always ready for young people.
Okay, so we have a question now from Blessed Sacrament School in Vancouver.
How are you and what are you doing these days?
I am doing okay, thank God. I just finished a movie called Renfield. I'm sure you are more or less familiar with the name Renfield. Renfield is Dracula's assistant. And this is a totally new take on the Dracula's story. Dracula is played by the one and only Nicolas Cage. Renfield is played by Nicholas Hoult. And guess what? Amazing performance by Aquafina. I love that actress. She's an amazing actress, and We had a lot of fun. There are Ben Shores. There are a couple of other shining stars in it. And we just finished a movie. And I am heading Europe for another movie, which I am very much in love with its message. When I choose a project, it has to connect with me. It has to be either relevant to what is going on in today's world or relevant to my heart. Like I would, because as an actor, I need to understand and connect with the subject matter before even you do when you watch the movie. So in Europe, I will do another movie called Damsel, which is based on a fairy tale. A lovely young lady who marries a prince, but then everything goes sour. What I'm expecting to come out this year, which I have done last year, is first and foremost is The Flight Attendant. I had the pleasure of working with Kaylee Coco on The Flight Attendant. When the offer came, I was already a fan. I was watching it. And I love this series because it's very entertaining. The plot is very complicated and sophisticated. And it's fun to work with a bunch of great actors and HBO as well. The other thing that I would love for all of you to watch that is coming out this year is called Run, Sweetheart, Run. It's a horror film, I'm afraid, made by the same company, Blumhouse Production Company, that made The Get Out. More or less is trying to send out the same message. When you feel that you're in the wrong place, run, sweetheart, run. Again, it's about a young woman who goes on a date. She knows the young man. Many of her friends know the young man. And she goes to this date knowing that everyone knows him. I know him, so it's going to be safe. But then, oh boy, I wish that this movie would be played in every college, every university, on every channel in the whole world, because it's not just something about here or there. It's unfortunately, we're dealing with this dilemma, how we can prevent getting into those situations by watching Run, Sweetheart, Run. Another one that I would love for you to watch is a series called Chad. It's about a 12-year-old boy, Iranian boy, who lives with his parents, just his mother, because his father decided to stay back in Iran, in his homeland. And grandma comes to visit. So I did my best to portray that lovable grandmother that I myself had when I was a young kid.
Thank you so much. We really like you.
Thank you very much. I love you too. I hope one day we can meet each other in person, and we're going to make that possible.
Oh, great. Now, Shohreh, we are going all the way to Montreal, in the province of Quebec. Lola is a teacher at Simone Monet School in Montreal, and she will ask you a question.
Hi, thank you for meeting us today. So my question is the next one. What are some things few young people know about the history of Iran, especially in pre-revolution times? And what do you love and cherish about your homeland?
Well, to make it short, Persia or Iran, it does not make a difference. Early 1937 to be exact, the Shah of Iran decided to change its name so he can give it a new identity. So they turned Persia into Iran, and they asked all the countries that they had the political relation with, they asked them to call Persia Iran as of then. Persia is a beautiful, ancient, vast, gorgeous country with amazing, amazing sites that you want to see one day when things are better. Iran is in a better situation. I definitely want you to see those beautiful forests in the Caspian Sea and then the Persian Gulf. It's a gorgeous country. The monarchy was founded in Iran by Cyrus the Great in almost more than 2,500 years ago. And the cylinder of humanitarian, peaceful act in the whole world was created by Cyrus the Great, more than 2,500 years ago. And he founded the monarchy, and it went on for 2,500 years until, unfortunately, it was toppled by the Islamic Republic, and therefore, first there was a turmoil, and I left at the time of the turmoil. And then there was a revolution, and Iran went back thousands of years ago to where it was before, sort of, at least on the surface of the streets. But people still live their own lives in their own homes, behind the closed doors and walls, and still they try to live, but it's not the same life as my generation went through. When I was young, back in Iran, we called Tehran, the capital of Iran, we called it Paris in the Middle East. And it was, I mean, the latest fashion you could find in Iran, the flowers from Holland, cheese from Switzerland. And it was, women were free, we could vote. We started voting almost 70 years ago. So a progressive country that was doing its best to be compatible with its Western alliances, all of a sudden turned into an ancient country, literally speaking, ancient country where misogynistic laws came back and where women are truly suffering not being the first citizen of their own country.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for the answer.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Thank you very much, Lola. And now we are going all the way to the West Coast in British Columbia. A student in Cloverdale Catholic School in Surrey, BC, will ask you.
Hello, my name is Amari, and my question for you today is, what are some roles you played that you cherish the most and why? And how did you prepare for these roles?
I love, you see, to be honest with you, when actors say that my films or my roles are like my children, they are right. They're telling you the truth. They are like our children because we create each and every character, even though when the character exists, when the movie or the series is based on a true character like Sajida, Saddam Hussein's wife, still you need to create that character. And the process of creation is like having a baby in your belly for 9 months and waiting for it to arrive and waiting for it to be perfect and waiting to cherish and care about this new baby. So they're all like my babies. But again, like babies, like my mother loved, God rest her soul, loved our little brother. And ever since we were kids, she would align us and say, you would become a doctor, engineer, Obviously, I was the first one, and I kept saying, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be an actor. My brothers, the two that are pretty savvy, they said, yes, we are going to be engineer and this and that. But the little one would say, I just want to be an ordinary person, a normal person. And the question is that when you play a role, if it's based on an ordinary or normal person, is as difficult as playing a role in the Star Trek, which is a woman that is warning people that they should not go to the uncharted territories. They're all the same. We create these characters, and they stay with us. But like in real life, that my mother loved the little one, Shahriar, and we all knew that my mother loved his youngest son more than any of us. So in real life, I love House of Sand and Fog for a very interesting reason, because I portrayed a voiceless woman who became a victim of not having a voice. And since I have a pretty strong voice in real life, it was really hard for me to portray that voiceless woman, not only because I wasn't familiar with the behavior, with the, how they with the reactions and stuff, but also because it reminded me a lot of a couple of women that I know of in our family that went through the same thing, and it was heartbreaking for me it was very close to home and heartbreaking. The other movie, Lake House, again, two people in love in two different times. It was heart-wrenching because when I left Iran, I was still in love, but I had to leave. Uh, there are special things in a special, project that sort of connect with you. Otherwise, you won't even accept to portray them. And they have to connect. But some do more and some less. Like on television, I am in love. I shouldn't say that, but I'm in love with my work on the 24. That woman never existed, at least with Avasarala in the Expanse. I had some point of references out there. Oh, look at Indira Gandhi, what she did for India. Oh, look at Benazir Bhutto. Why go so far? Look at Margaret Thatcher, one of my favorites ever, strong woman. Oh, Hillary Clinton next to me. And oh, look what Nancy Pelosi is doing. So Avasarala sort of was lucky because I had point of references out there. With the 24, nothing. I couldn't find a mob lord that was a woman. I couldn't find a terrorist that was a woman and get some ideas because we're not stealing. Actors do not steal. They get inspired by. So I created the character in 24, Dina Araz, from scratch, having nothing. But then I just said, what I do, I always do that, is when I'm offered a role, if the character is fictional, then I would immediately start writing a background resume for her. For example, say, let's take Lake House, this doctor who's living alone. She doesn't have children. It seems like she's not even married. And what she tells the intern, Sandra Bullock, who is not feeling well and is very depressed, my character, who's a doctor, full doctor, tells her, the intern, that what you should do and what you need to do when you are off, you should get as far away from here as possible and leave everything behind. Do not even think about what's happening at the hospital or with your work and stuff, and just be yourself. Just be yourself. Take some time. She's trying to tell her what me time is about. So again, it was a very underskin kind of, it required underskin acting, and I had to just get myself familiar with the world of this doctor who has dedicated herself to her profession. Here comes Avasarala, which because of the fact that it took 7 years. We produced 6 seasons, but it took us 7 years to do this, especially with Corona. We had to go back and forth. And with Avasarala, I discovered many things that, for example, if I had not that political education in my background, I would have not been able to do a good job with Avasarala because I had to understand what was going on. I had to break the codes. When I was offered a role, I was told that I am the Secretary General of the United Nations, and here are Martians, here are Belters, here are Earthers, and here are people in Ganymede. So I had to break the codes for myself. Who are these Martians? Who do they stand for? What does BELT stand for? Is this a sort of underprivileged or under sort of construction society? Or are they rebels? Are they not? So I needed that political education to understand what it means. And again, with all those amazing stars out there doing their job right, I was inspired by all the women that I named them for you. And I'm very proud of that. Not just because I think I did a good job, but because of its continuity. It is so hard to keep the continuity when it goes from year to year to year to year. Imagine 7 years, you have to continue and with the character and allow the character to age as long as you're aging, and just remember that you're not on the first page, that you're not in the first season. You're on 7th season. This woman has aged 7 years in real life, and you have to always remember that.
Thank you so much.
We have another question coming from the same school.
So,
Hello, my name is Stella, and my question for you today is you played so many strong female characters through the years, including an unforgettable performance as UN Secretary General Chrisjen Avasarala in The Expanse. Why hasn't there yet been a female UN Secretary General, and what would you say to young women listening who may be aspiring to that position?
it's really interesting. 30 years ago, when they would ask me, why don't we see more strong women on the silver screen? Why don't producers make movies about women going to the moon, traveling to the Mars? Or how come the silver screen is not showing us strong female characters? And I kept saying, art imitates life. Life imitates art. If you want to see more powerful women on the silver screen, we need more powerful women in our own societies, no matter how small or how big. I think it was Nike's slogan, think globally, act locally. Think global like you guys are. You are the citizens of the world. And I love when I say that. I love that. You are the citizens, you're global citizens, beyond borders, beyond the walls that are trying to divide us. You are trying to make a society, no matter how big or small of a society. We need law and orders. We need people who are interested in making it to be able to make the society ready for these young people, men, women, LGBTQ plus, whoever, regardless of gender, color of skin, accent, this and that. We need to make the bed ready for it to sort of jump onto the silver screen. Otherwise, if we don't have any, they're not as visionary or as savvy to think that, except for a couple of them. Like I always told our novelists, Ty Frank and Daniel Abram, I kept asking them, I said, you wrote these novels you started 25 years ago. How visionary you are that you could have imagined giving more important jobs to women in 30 years from now or in 100 years from now. Put women or put female or put those who are not as in a great situations as the others, give them more opportunity to participate, to come in, to do something. And if we want to see a UN Secretary General, we have already a female Secretary General. We have already shown them how it works, that how women are careful, they're vigilant, they are hardworking, and all they're saying is what really feminism means here is that, look, brother, I want to work with you shoulder to shoulder. I left my gender behind the door when I got in because work is more important than my gender. So I'm just trying to work with you. I'm not trying to take over your job, or I'm not trying to, hurt you or harm you or throw you out this circle. I'm just here to help you. So let us all do it together. We want to see a UN Secretary General. We need a young woman. We need a couple of young women who are willing to do this, who are willing to show the world that, yes, it is possible for a woman, especially a young woman, fairly in her 30s or in late 20s, to become the UN Secretary General. It is possible, but we need some real examples in real life so we can then go to the producers, executive producers, studios, and tell them, look, it is happening, and you need to take it on the silver screen and show it to the whole world. Because every time we do that, it's not just about a certain nation, it's about the whole world. We want the whole world to see it, that you young people have helped to change our society from a traditional society into a modern society where humanity still exists.
Now, Shohreh, let's hear a question from Cloverdale Catholic School in Surrey, BC.
Hi, my name is Ava. My question is, what would you put in a time capsule to be opened by the next generation of children 30 years from now?
Wow. Okay. Time capsule. First off, I love the idea of this time capsule. What I would write on this message would be, you that are reading it, you that are reading this message now, ask yourself, why were you born? Or in other words, why did you come to this earth? Then ask yourself, what is your mission in life? Why did you come to do? What did you come to do on this earth? Then ask yourself, how much time do I have? Then ask yourself, are you in love? Do you know what love means? If you are, and if you do know what love means, then you're not a robot, you're a human being. Stay human and try to be nice to other human. And now that you have read this message, please put it back in the time capsule and pass it on to the generations to come.
Wonderful. It was so lovely to speak with you today. Would you have a final message for our young global citizens today?
Yes, I do. Please do not give up. Don't take no for an answer, but to a limit, of course. Don't push too much. And be yourself. Let the world see through you, no matter where you are, how small your school, your town, your city is. It is a part of the world. You are living in the world now. So just try to do your best and fulfill your mission and be the one that everyone would love to have as a friend, and every parents would be proud of. Don't be afraid of anything. Fear is really the fear of the unknown. When you don't know something, why should you even be afraid about it? Just be yourself and let the world see through you. I would love to see your faces in different places where I can cheer for you, root for you, and watch you getting to the higher steps on a daily basis. We all could become what we want to. There is nothing that is impossible. Everything is doable. It just depends on us, how much of investment we want to put into a project, how determined we are. And if we're truly determined and we're truly in love with what we're doing, we would never stop. We would stick to it until we become successful. This little girl from the Middle East moved out of her homeland 43 years ago, and she started working harder because now the population of the world is 3 times more than when I left my homeland. Therefore, we all need to work harder, be more vigilant, and be more positive. I know that everything indicates that we should be sort of panicking or upset about something, but just try to stay positive inside, because everything comes from inside. And do not ever lose your connection with your heart and the child within. While that child within is alive, no matter how old you are, just stick to it and you'll be successful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We name you an official friend of the Young Global Citizens movement.
Please do. And wherever you gather young global citizens, please invite me. I would love to see you in person. Thank you so much.
Sure will. Thank you so much for your support and your time today. Thank you, all global citizens.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, global citizens.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you so much.
We have a special present we will like to send by mail through Shohreh's agent. We're organizing a very special march for water with Cirque du Soleil in September.
Wow.
And we are doing an event in Vegas and Montreal. we'll try to be in touch with you again in the
Please
fall.
do. I may be able to join you in one of those trips. Let's see. Let's see. We're gonna have fun. Okay. Merci.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bum ba da dum bum bum da 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 bum 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 ba da bum bum ba da bum 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 bum.